Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. Tonight we'll have all your international, national, and local news. I'm Ava Bernizen.
And I'm Alyssa Mandarak. Hear about a new virus found in Southeastern Asia that has some symptoms similar to COVID.
Plus, the rivers in the city of Pittsburgh are covered in ice, and one man escaped from the police testing the ice.
All this and more coming up on NewsNight. Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, has said that they are ready to negotiate with the U.S., quote, provided that a suitable environment exists, one free from threats and unreasonable expectations, end quote. According to BBC, the U.S. has been accumulating forces near Iran in the event that the country's government, quote, does not agree on a deal on its nuclear program and stop killing protesters, end quote. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has responded to the growth of American presence with the threat of their actions starting a regional war. Trump has also said that if the countries cannot agree, quote, bad things would happen. According to the U.S. media reports, the talks could take place as soon as Friday in Istanbul. Steve Witkoff is also set to have conversations with the Iranians later this week. On Tuesday, a U.S. ship in the Arabian Sea shot down an Iranian drone in self-defense. The drone is claimed to have aggressively approached the USS Abraham Lincoln about 500 miles from Iran's southern coast.
Several women who were returning to Gaza through the Rafah border crossing are voicing serious concerns about their treatment during the process, claiming that after crossing from Egypt, Israeli troops stopped them, blindfolded, handcuffed, and interrogated them for hours. Despite their claims that they had no involvement or information to share, they were interrogated individually about security issues and groups in Gaza. The Israeli military claims that they were unaware of any misconduct and denied any incidents involving inappropriate behavior by its forces. The Rafah crossing recently reopened under international coordination, allowing a limited number of Palestinians to return to Gaza after months of closure. The women described the experience as, quote, humiliating and emotionally distressing, end quote, claiming they were threatened and under pressure even though they had no reported physical abuse. A new virus is posing as a threat to some Southeastern Asian countries, despite health officials deeming the virus low risk. Reporter Leslie Krebs has the details. Leslie?
Thanks, Ava. The Nipah virus, a zoonotic virus that spreads from bats and pigs to humans, has made a rise in Asia, with 2 reported cases in India, putting countries across Asia on high alert. Nipah originated and is predominantly found in Southeastern Asian countries like Bangladesh, Malaysia, and India, and has a 40 to 70% fatality rate and no known vaccine. Nipah spreads from contact with contaminated animals and humans, as well as through infected fruit. The virus begins with symptoms like a fever, headache, confusion, and even breathing troubles, and other common virus symptoms like a cough and chills. If it worsens, the virus can lead to permanent brain damage like swelling and even death. Despite the WHO saying it poses a low risk, Asian airports are taking the extra step to prevent infection through screenings. As for now, staying away from contaminated sources is the best method of keeping Nipah at bay.
The Florida Department of Health has recently announced that certain candies tested have elevated levels of heavy metals. 46 different types of candies from 10 popular brands were discovered to have unsafe amounts of mercury, arsenic, and lead. Testing from Healthy Florida First shared that 28 well-known Valentine's Day candies were found with arsenic. Some of these candies include Three Musketeers, gummy bears, Snickers, Kit Kats, and more. According to the Healthy Florida First, eating 1 or more pieces of infected candy can result in toxic arsenic exposure in children and adults. At this time, none of these candies have been recalled, so be sure to double-check your candy this Valentine's Day.
The state of New Mexico is bringing Meta Platforms to trial next week with a lawsuit accusing the company of profiting from and exposing children to sexual content. New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres claims Meta enabled predators to gain access to underage users, which ultimately led to abuse outside of the platform and human trafficking. The trial is expected to last upward of 2 months and will begin the jury selection process on Monday. Torres and his former prosecution office started an undercover operation in 2023 to prove the sexual exploitation of minors. Some investigators took the role of users under the age of 14 and were sent explicit content and were requested to send explicit material by adult users. This specific investigation led to criminal charges to 3 individuals. Another claim by the state is that Meta's platform design allows maximum engagement despite the fact that children's mental health is at risk. Features like catered algorithms, autoplay, and infinite scrolling create addictive behaviors that are leading to an uptick in depression and anxiety.
A 5-year-old boy and his father, who were taken into custody by ICE during the agency's illegal immigration crackdown in Minneapolis, were freed this weekend after a federal judge ordered for their release. Liam Cuneo Ramos, 5, and his father, Adrian Cuneo Arias, were released from the Customs Enforcement Detention Center on Saturday and made it home to Minnesota on Sunday. Neighbors and school officials accused the feds of using the preschooler as, quote, bait, end quote, by getting him to knock on the family's door to lure his mother out of her home. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security repeatedly denied this claim, claiming that ICE didn't target the boy, but his mother refused to take him after his father was apprehended, leaving him in the care of the agents. U.S. District Judge Fred Byery demanded the pair's release in a letter on Saturday, saying, quote, "This case has a genesis of an ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it's requiring traumatizing children," end quote.
Protests occurred throughout the U.S. on Saturday in response to ICE's killing of 2 people in Minneapolis. These protests included picketing outside of ICE facilities and companies suspected or known to support ICE. Protests were organized by multiple groups, including 5051 and Free DC. High school students are also participating in protests by organizing walkouts. These walkouts occurred in multiple cities, including Seattle, Houston, Texas, and Tallahassee, Florida. We are going for a quick break. From snow still being a problem for many folks, one event that took place in the city of Pittsburgh was using the snow to their advantage. Many more local stories coming up, so don't go anywhere. NewsNight will be right back.
A wanted man tried to avoid the police in the Pittsburgh area by walking on the frozen Allegheny River this last Wednesday. The police search lasted several hours, being that the suspect walked miles along the river. The situation started after the Pittsburgh Public Safety was called to Highland Drive around 1 p.m. after a report of a man trespassing on the former VA site. Police eventually found him messing with an electrical panel. After being spotted, the man proceeded to flee the scene via the snow-covered field and then the Allegheny River. The chase ended in Homara Township, and the man was later identified as 47-year-old Gary Cawley. Cawley is currently facing multiple charges such as possessing instruments of a crime, burglary, and trespassing. Court documents say he told officers, quote, "It was only trespassing. I'm not going back to jail. Just send me a citation," end quote.
Pittsburgh's recent revival of Snowmageddon has been a stark reminder that the region is not immune to weather disasters. Amid our newsworthy storm, the PNC Foundation made an announcement last Friday that they donated $2 million for the city of Pittsburgh to purchase snow removal equipment. New Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor has appeared to be transparent on social media each day as this storm progresses. Just days after the massive snowfall, he shared that 37 trucks broke down while trying to clear roads. This prompted the city to be placed under a state of emergency to enable the ability to hire contractors to assist in snow removal. This donation from the PNC Foundation will allow the city to purchase 15 new vehicles. In O'Connor's statement thanking the foundation, he said this will contribute to over 50 pieces of reliable equipment thanks to partnerships in the community. As we've seen from the last few weeks of the city on ice, the best way to avoid a disaster is to be prepared.
In breaking news, announced just today is a new prospective buyer for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, David Hoffman. Chairman of the company poised to purchase Pittsburgh Penguins, announced his plans at an event earlier today. The local newspaper had announced they would shut down by May 3rd, stating in the press release that it is, quote, no longer sustainable, end quote. The Post-Gazette workers returned in November after a years-long strike, which the paper's parent company, Block Communications, also cites as a release for its closure. The closure was announced the first week of January, and Hoffman is the first potential buyer reported. The purchase is not yet confirmed, but NewsNight will keep you up to date. There is a new leader among the Pittsburgh Borough of Police, and the new police chief has just been appointed. Reporter Ruthie Light has the details. Ruthie?
Thanks, Ava. As of Wednesday, February 4th, Jason Lando has officially been appointed as Pittsburgh's new police chief in a unanimous vote by the Pittsburgh City Council. Lando has served 21 years in the police bureau, with the last 5 years being the chief of police in Frederick, Maryland. Despite spending the last 5 years in Maryland, Lando is a born and raised Pittsburgh native. Lando expressed his gratitude for the new opportunity, stating, quote, Pittsburgh is my home, and to be selected to lead the men and women of the Bureau of Police is pretty much the honor of a lifetime, end quote. In his granted position, Lando has expressed many priorities he strives to accomplish within the city and police bureau, including fighting violent crime, better professionalizing the command staff, improving the lives of the officers in general, fostering a better police-community relationship, and collaborating with social workers to address homelessness and people struggling with addiction.
A woman is critically injured after a Pittsburgh Regional Transit bus hit her in Oakland Monday night around 7 p.m. The 21-year-old female was not identified but was taken to the local hospital in critical but stable condition. A spokesperson from the PRT, the 58 Greenfield bus was, quote, turning left from Neville Street into 5th Avenue when they struck the pedestrian. As of Tuesday morning, the victim was up and walking and was discharged from the hospital.
The NFL and Visit Pittsburgh have released the first official renderings of how the NFL Draft will take over Pittsburgh. Reaching both downtown and the North Shore, the event will encourage visitors to explore the city. The Draft Theater and main stage will be located just outside Acrisure Stadium, while Point State Park will host a large portion of the NFL Draft experience, the league's interactive fan festival. Worried about transportation between the two areas? The Draft will have that covered as well, with the Roberto Clemente Bridge closed off to vehicle traffic and the Gateway Clipper moving people through the river to each destination. To read the full announcement and for more details on what to do in and around the Draft, go to visitpittsburgh.com. Red Bull hosted a snowboarding competition outside Acrisure Stadium on Saturday. Reporter Leslie Krebs braved the cold to see what the excitement was all about and has all the details. Leslie?
I'm here outside Acrisure Stadium where things just kicked off for the Red Bull semi-final heavy metal snowboarding contest. As you can see, despite the freezing temperatures, all of Pittsburgh showed up to see what the snowboarders have got. Red Bull featured roughly 35 of the best amateur street snowboarders to test their skills outside Acrisure Stadium. Competitors came from across the country and were selected to compete via a video submission, featuring their skills and explaining why they should be chosen. The event is divided into 2 rounds, one qualifying round that consists of up to 3 heats, and a final round where 12 men and 12 women will go on to compete for first place. Ultimately, 1 man and 1 woman will earn the title and the chance to compete in Boston for the Red Bull Heavy Metal Final. Viewing for the event is free and open to the public. Even though the freezing temperatures and snow seem frightening, Pittsburghers braved the cold to see what these snowboarders had in store. Spectators were enthralled by the snowboarding spectacle, with viewer Logan Williams remarking on their skills and ability.
It's been really cool to watch. I've been snowboarding a long time, just like nothing like this, just on the mountain. So it's really cool to see what these guys can do.
I've liked it. I liked all their tricks too. It makes me want to do it, even though I probably can't in person.
I'm enjoying this pretty much, but it's a little too cold. My feet are freezing.
As you can see, the crowd is loving it, and things have only just begun. Things will close out at 4 p.m. with an awards ceremony, so we'll see who makes it to Boston. Reporting for UV Television, I'm Leslie Krebs.
When we come back, a few bison were set free for the first time in a very long time, plus your weekly Pittsburgh weather update. Stay tuned.
Last week, 6 bison were released into the Illinois prairies, surrounded by drumming, cheers, and singing. The bison, 3 male and 3 female, were free to roam their new surroundings for the first time in 200 years. A large group of indigenous Santee Sioux people gathered at sunrise on the Burlington Prairie Forest Preserve in Kane County, Illinois, to celebrate the release. Tribal elder Robert Wapahi told CBS News Chicago, quote, "It's different when you're welcoming them back home. That's their home, not mine," end quote. Originally, around 35 million bison roamed the U.S. Midwest, but their numbers dwindled due to human intervention during the Industrial Revolution. This is just one national effort to bring them back to their home. The American Indian Center, the oldest urban Native American cultural establishment in the U.S., and Kane County Forest Preserve staff will partner to keep an eye on the bison as they get used to their new surroundings. Returning the bison to their native land will greatly improve the quality of the land, and though 6 isn't quite in the millions, it's 6 closer than we were the week before. This cold and snow is a lot, and I heard there may be more on the way. Weather reporter Cora Polanski has the details on how much snow and if the temperature will warm up anytime soon. Cora?
Thanks, Alyssa. I'm here in Point State Park. Today, we had a low of 5 degrees with a high of 23 degrees, which is what it is right now. We have a slight breeze with a little bit of sun outside, but don't get too comfortable with the sun because tomorrow we have a 55% chance of snow, where we might get 1 to 3 inches. So this might get even taller. Now, on to weekly weather. Snow will slightly continue into Saturday as temperatures will drop into the teens over the weekend. For the weekdays next week, we will see a much-needed warm-up. Monday has a high of around 30 degrees and a low of 20 degrees. For Tuesday and Wednesday, the high temperatures are within the mid-40s and the sun will be mostly coming out of the clouds. And for Thursday, rain is back in the forecast with a high of 40 degrees and a low of 26 degrees. Let's see if the temperatures can stay a little warm because this winter weather has been no joke. This has been Cora Polanski reporting from Point State Park. Now, back to the studio.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of NewsNight. If you want to see more, check out our social media pages on both Facebook and Instagram at UView Television.
You can also check out more episodes on our YouTube channel or on our website, uview.pointpark.edu. I'm Ava Bernizen.
And I'm Alyssa Mandarak. From everyone here at NewsNight, thank you for watching and have a great evening.